It's showtime. Mortal Kombat 2. Get tickets now.
What is up, all my gaming friendulums? Holy cannoli, they just dropped a brand new Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. Start promoting the movie when it comes out just about a month after delaying it from October 2025 to May 8th, which I always thought was a duh idea. They were already in the middle of their marketing when they suddenly decided to push it from October to May.
Why?
Does this new trailer have anything new in it? It does, and it actually does have an Easter egg that I think is kind of a big spoiler. It's one of those Easter eggs that I would have preferred to see in the movie and not have it revealed in the trailers, which was really stupid on their part. But before I take out my spear rope and stab you in the neck and pull you over to me and then punch you into the sky, take a moment to Lizike and Suskrizab. It really helps a Brazuzzer out, and it goes along Wizay. It's time to jump into the Netherrealm and take a look at this brand new trailer from Mortal Kombat 2.
It's showtime. Mortal Kombat 2. Get tickets now. Damn.
So it opens with that shot of Johnny putting on his shades and saying, "It's showtime," which we've already seen from previous trailers, and then a pretty cliche moment with Jack saying,
Damn.
super cliche at having the black guy say it is borderline racist. But there we see Liu Kang and Sonya Blade watching with their mouths slightly agape. And I'm wondering, are they impressed by what Baraka's doing? Because I'm pretty sure this is the moment where Baraka, I know for sure this is the moment where Johnny and Baraka fight. But I'm wondering if this is the first time they've actually seen Johnny fight for real, and they're impressed by that. Or maybe they're impressed by what Baraka just looks like.
There are 8 billion people on this planet.
A moment I actually forgot to mention in an earlier analysis was in the scene where we see Scorpion raking the sand. Up close, you can see that the actual prongs of the rake are his blades from the end of his hook rope. So that was a little Easter egg they dropped that I missed the first time around. So I'm glad to finally be able to point it out because I was kind of mad at myself.
Dang it.
Combat is upon us.
If we lose one more time, the Earth is gone.
Scorpion / Hanzo up on the Earth realm, and then suddenly the camera rotates and he's back down in the Nether realm or Hell or whatever you want to call it. And I'm still trying to figure out what that's about. He was banished there at the end of the last movie, but it looks like he's still stuck there. But then at the same time, we see him up in the regular world raking sand, and Clearly, we can see Johnny and Kano approaching him. This is some weird kind of meditation on Hanzo because we see him meditating in an earlier trailer, and as if he's meditating, and when he does, he goes into the quote-unquote Earth realm. But does he exist there? He doesn't exist there physically. So this whole moment with him there and how the camera, how it wipes to him being in hell, is still something that I can't figure out, which I probably don't need to, and just watch the movie instead. A close-up shot of a battered and bloodied Sonya Blade, then that same similar close shot from an earlier trailer of somebody up close with their face burnt up, looking all burnt up, and I think that's Sub-Zero is still kind of hard to make out their face as it's turned on the side and their face is all flaky and falling apart. But this trailer does seem to have some focus on the bigger scale, and the more colorful and stylized and the less grounded realism and more arcade chaos with some fan service. The filmmakers listened to the fans who wanted more characters, more powers, and more actual Mortal Kombat. The humor is a bit more prominent in other trailers, and his personality is a mix of arrogance and comic relief. He and Kano are probably going to be the only funny ones, considering the last movie, the only one who had any kind of comedy was
Everyone loves me.
Johnny on the ground during that same fight with Baraka. Did he get defeated, or was he in the middle of the fight? Baraka took him down and he's kind of sitting there on the ground thinking, okay, what the hell is going on? This guy's kicking my ass. I have no chance in getting out of this. This looks like the first real fight that he actually has to do, because there's a fight moment with Kitana, but I feel like that's them just testing him to see how good of a fighter he actually is. So this fight with Baraka is likely his very first tournament fight. Liu Kang says something pretty dire in the fact that if they lose again, if they lose this tournament one more time, Earth is done. So what does that actually mean? If they actually lose, will Shao Kahn automatically just take over the Earth? How does that work? Do they have to lose or win a certain amount of fights? Like if they lose one fight, that doesn't automatically mean it's over. But they still got all the fan favorite characters. And the trailer clearly emphasizes there's more actual Mortal Kombat tournament in this, as is there actually going to be a tournament, and they're going to focus on the Earthrealm versus Outworld conflict. Shao Kahn is the big major threat, and in earlier trailers, he basically looks like he's invincible, so how are they going to take him out? But this definitely aligns more with the game's core premise instead of just a setup. No new reveals, but we had Kitana and Jade, Baraka, Shao Kahn.
Johnny Cage. This is a war to the fate of your world.
I hope your ancestors are watching.
Your might.
This is the month ahead of the release marketing push. So there's lots of get your tickets now. I've never been one to buy a ticket that far ahead. I don't see the point of it. But in this case,
shut up and take my money.
It really hasn't been a whole lot of theater adaptations look forward to. Show adaptations like Fallout and Last of Us, I was really excited for those. Even though I saw a Super Mario Galaxy movie, I wasn't exactly excited to see it. But Mortal Kombat 2, I'm actually excited to see it. I really do love the classic games. The newer games, I don't really play that much. See that same shot we saw before with Raiden opening up this electricity-laden portal. Dude, he walks through the portal. I have a feeling that he regrets that decision. He walks through and then they show him everything that's kind of going on. And he changes his mind and says, no, this is insane.
Send me back. I want to go back.
Shao Kahn. He's a very menacing character. He looks like an antagonist that could legitimately be hard to take down. Last movie, I can't even remember who the antagonist was. And then he says something about, I hope your ancestors are watching. When you lose this tournament one last time, Earthrealm will finally be mine. Something like that. You can also see that he's carrying his huge hammer in his hand. And he does look pretty similar to different versions of other games, but that's something I kind of pointed out in the earlier trailers of where a lot of people's designs were a mishmash of different games, or a lot of them were more based on the newer games and not so much the older classic games, which are all the games that I love. But the trailer does play up the more fatality style moments. Faster, flashier combat. Powers are more exaggerated, but also game accurate. So it seems like they're almost going away from that whole Arcana thing of the first movie, where it was some sort of internal power, but they can't just completely remove that because now they put it in there. So are they going to retcon it somehow? It's definitely more game accurate and not just realistic MMA with more teleporting and energy blast and over-the-top brutality. The more over-the-top, the better. Like, I hope this is really bloody. A Mortal Kombat movie that isn't bloody just doesn't make sense. It's a bloody game. That's what it was known for. That's why it became so popular. The fact that they haven't really truly had a bloody Mortal Kombat. I mean, the last one was, but it still could have even been more. So I definitely think they're going to ramp that up, and it's going to be a lot more blood. But there's also a tone shift, kind of even just in this small minute-and-a-half long trailer. It goes from serious to campy. It mixes the dark epic stakes with Shao Kahn and the invasion, but also the cheesy one-liners and humor. Very on brand for Mortal Kombat. Deadly serious lore with absolutely ridiculous moments.
Now would be a good time to use those powers, mate.
You wanna know my power? I am Johnny Cage.
Ah, whip.
Kung Lao's hat coming back to him like a boomerang and landing right on his head. If that's a thing that's in the games, I've never seen it. If it is, it's in the newer games. The last Mortal Kombat game I actually really played was Mortal Kombat 3. So it's been a while. Then we see Kano and someone has him in a headlock and he said,
Now would be a good time to use those powers, mate.
If Johnny is actually going to get his real own power, even then he says,
I am Johnny Cage.
As in that's his power. I call it the Star Wars Force moment. The power was always in there. You just had to look for it or have the confidence to come out and do it.
Luke, use the Force.
Really? Because I was just going to make it...
Use the Force. Okay.
Are they going to go all cheesy with it and have his actual power just be that, him believing in himself, or will he actually get a power similar to the ones in the games where you can throw green orbs or do a shadow kick, you better do his split punch, because that's not a thing he needs to have superpowers to do. You can just do that. So if they put Johnny Cage in this movie and not have him do his split nut punch, the movie automatically loses 2 points just for that.
1, 2, 3.
See Raiden fighting Shang Tsung, and I wonder how much Shang Tsung will actually be in this movie. I feel like it won't be very much, as Shao Kahn is clearly the main antagonist. But we're also gonna have Sub-Zero coming back, but not Sub-Zero, actually Noob Saibon, a mysterious character from the games, which eventually became a playable character in the later games.
Get over here!
Damn.
But also a couple of quick shots of some people fighting. We see Liu Kang and Kung Lao, evil version of Kung Lao. He's doing some Fist of the North Star action, punching Liu Kang in the chest like 3,000 times. We see Jade first fighting Kitana and then fighting Jax. But I wonder if either of these are serious fights or just training fights, or one of those. At first they think they're the enemies, so they fight, and then they realize they're on the same side. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting between Jax and Jade. They initially meet, and they didn't realize they're essentially on the same side. And then they fight, and then they realize they're not enemies. Shao Kahn does some type of fire breath thing on what looks like Liu Kang. It's also a quick little shot of Kitana's father when she was a child fighting against Shao Kahn and getting his butt kicked. It's pretty clear that Kitana's father dies at the hands of Shao Kahn.
Remember, if you fail, the earth fails with you.
Uno mas, thanks, Ed.
And there we see the moment that I wish they would have kept for the movie and not revealed. Ed Boon, one of the co-creators of the Mortal Kombat games, plays the bartender. After Johnny Cage decides he doesn't want to get involved in this tournament, goes back to Earth, goes to the bar, he's chilling out and drinking, and Ed Boon is there. He's the bartender, and they even call him Ed. Crazy barrage of so many images happening that I could barely keep track. A millisecond shot of Quan Chi. But in the background of the shot with Quan Chi, we also see Jade and Kitana. So now I'm confused because I thought Quan Chi was a bad guy. So is Kitana and Jade good or bad in this? I still am not 100% clear, but I think Kitana is on the side of good. Jade could be playing on both sides, or she could betray. There's something about Jade's character that I don't 100% trust, even though her and Kitana basically grew up together and they're pretty much sisters. But there's something about Jade that makes me think that she might betray them. But why is Quan Chi there with both of them? As far as I know, Quan Chi is the bad guy. We also get some cool transitions of Liu Kang shooting a fireball at Kung Lao, and then it transitions to him finishing that same fireball at Shao Kahn. So I'm not sure if that's something that's actually in the movie or they just did it for the trailer, because I don't see how that would even make sense. Liu Kang would be fighting Shao Kahn and Kung Lao on different realms at the same time, which would actually be kind of stinking cool if they did that. Just looks like something they just did that looked cool for the trailer.
Sub-Zero.
I am reborn.
Funny shot of Baraka stabbing the ground with his claws right between Johnny's legs. It's a super quick little shot of Sonya falling down what looks like might be a spiked pit, but she almost just managed to avoid being skewered. So that could be a spiked pit, just like in several of the games, as a fatality level. Then we see Scorpion in the Netherrealm fighting New Saibon, as we get a close-up shot of Sub-Zero / New Saibon looking all badass and half dead and a zombie. But he's fighting somebody else, and I'm not sure who that is, as he's in the middle and they're taking him on from both sides. And then we see him using his double chain hook rope sword thingamablingers, which I don't know what they're actually really called. But we see that they split open on the ends, so almost like an anchor in a way of the way. And then they spin around and they take them off their feet. But as a major upgrade to the Scorpion weapon, that is for stank and sure. So what this trailer tells us is that it's improved from the first movie with more recognizable characters, actual tournament focus, better balance of tone, bigger spectacle.
I am Johnny Cage.
Potential risks, maybe there's too many characters, could feel crowded. Looking at the trailer, it almost looks like Sonya doesn't have a whole lot to do. And they're not even bothering to show Cole Young at all anymore. He's probably going to have all of 5 minutes in the movie, maybe 10 just to be nice. But I also feel like Sonya's just going to be kind of hanging around. They're strictly for expositional moments. So I fear that she could be underutilized, just kind of like she was in the first movie. Even then, it felt like she could have been in there more. And she was only in there to tell, she was just there to tell the audience what the audience needs to know.
Special Forces, the target had superhuman abilities. That dragon marking signifies that you've been chosen to fight for Earth.
But this trailer got me excited. Again, we're just about a month away. May 8th, I believe, is the release date of the movie. And I hope this marketing works, as they were already in the middle of marketing the initial release when they suddenly decided to push the release date to May. So now they had to start all over again. The movie would have been hot off them doing a whole bunch of marketing, and now they got to go from cold and start all over again and spend the next month hyping the movie up and hoping people that want to go see it. But this trailer still looks like a course correction sequel with less setup, more payoff, more game accuracy, and more overall fun. If the first movie was Mortal Kombat Prologue, this looks like Mortal Kombat Finally the Game. If you enjoyed my little breakdown of this short, quick little trailer, drop a comment below and let me know what you think. Do you think that I miss any things? I super half-assed this. I didn't really stop and look up anything that I may have gotten right or wrong. I pretty much just analyze this trailer from what I can see and what I know personally about the Mortal Kombat lore, which isn't really a whole lot. So try not to go easy on me in the comments if I got anything wrong. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to keep gaming, and don't forget to stretch those legs out for when you need to punch somebody in the balls if they're being mean to you.